started making names right away. And I loved it. I was robbing drug dealers and taking their gold right off their neck. And the shit we did, you know, who's going to call the police on you? A drug dealer?
I can identify with anything that was normal, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
99% of the time, you're going to disagree.
Just like the Del Brosco situation with Lefty?
Yeah, because the reason why, they figure it this way. You brought this guy around, he ratted on everybody, now he ratted on you. You might turn around and join him and rat on us, so we get rid of you. There's no connection between there and there. They get rid of you.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got a real good one for you. Robert McNeese is going to be joining me in a few minutes, and I put together a video for you guys. Today is the anniversary of Frank Cali being killed 3 years ago. Frank Cali is the Gambino alleged boss that was murdered by his niece's boyfriend because of some dating situation. But I put together a video about the unorthodox Jew, guy who dressed up like a Jewish man to commit a hit. So I put together a video for you guys. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to share it with you now. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Let's get into it. And to commit the murder. Let's get into alleged hitman in deadly Queens shooting disguised himself as an Orthodox Jew man to commit the murder. Let's get into this case. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. So it's been a pretty busy week. Today's the anniversary of Frank Cali, the Gambino ghost murder. 3 years ago, he was killed in front of his house, and we're going to go over a little bit of that case later on. But right now, we're going to talk about the man who disguised himself as an Hasidic Jew to commit a murder. So, detectives cuffed an alleged hitman Thursday who allegedly dressed up like an Orthodox Jew man to execute a rival in Queens nearly 2 years ago. Ron Reeder, 53, of New Jersey, was pinched for the shocking crime that left a 43-year-old Jermaine Dixon dead back in September of 2021. Dixon, who hailed from Georgia, was shot dead in the rear of 132 and 10 South Conduit Ave in Ozone Park, Queens. According to police sources, Reeder was a hired hitman who wore garb typically worn by Orthodox Jew men to disguise himself as the targeted Dixon, who was known as a member of a Brooklyn gang. At the time, Dixon had been out on federal parole for less than a year when he was killed. Sources familiar with the investigation say the killer was nabbed after being on the lam for more than 2 years, after Bergen County District Attorney Office released info details surrounding the incident. Reeder hung his head low as detectives escorted him out of the 106th Precinct Station House in Ozone Park, Queens on Thursday afternoon. March 2nd, he remained silent as the press peppered him with questions. Reeder is charged with murder and criminal possession of a loaded firearm. So we will see what happens with this case and where it's going to go. But if you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And join members only. A lot of good content's going up there. You don't want to miss it. Hope you guys like that video. I put that together for you guys earlier. I got some more content for you guys, and we're waiting for Robert to join us right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about the murder of Frank Cali. That happened 3 years ago. Today is the anniversary. So Frank Cali was known as the Gambino Ghost. He was only arrested one time. And if you guys didn't know, the guy who shot Frank Cali is not going to be prosecuted for the crime. He has pled insanity, and they have accepted his defense. Pretty crazy turn of events for this this case. Danny, what's up, bro? How you been? So oh man, hold on. Let me get the other case. Hold up. I know I got it. All right, we're gonna go. I'm gonna play one of the news. Hey Tracy, how are you? Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. We're waiting for our guests to come in here. So last night was a pretty eventful night for me. I interviewed right now, at this current moment, he's a 5-time Hall of Famer. He will be 8-time Hall of Famer. And I did the interview last night. And I'm putting it together now, so stay tuned. That interview is incredible. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I will tell you right now. I could show you better than I can tell you. All right. So the person that I interviewed last night, that I got an interview dropping very soon, is Hall of Famer Don McGuire. He is the photographer for professional boxing, for the UFC, Muay Thai. He's worked for all kinds of companies all across the world. He is a Hall of Fame photographer for martial arts, all kinds of things. He's a very intelligent, driven person who I admire greatly, and it was an honor to interview him and have him on the show. And I strive to be great like the people that I bring on my show. And this is one of the rings that he was presented with. And we did the show last night. It came out incredible. Shout out to Don McGuire. I appreciate you, man. I'm doing great. I'm really doing good. I can't complain. All right, let's go over this one. I want to show you. I'll show you the latest about the Frank Cali. All right, this was 3 years ago. Oh, what do you know? We got our guest in the building, huh? Mr. Robert McNeese. How are you, my friend?
Hey, how you doing, Bill?
I'm doing great.
Oh,
How have you been?
fantastic. What's going on?
Let's see, trying to get this background picture up. So today I got a topic I want to talk to you about, man.
Oh,
Yeah. So today's the anniversary of Frank Cali getting murdered outside of his house. And but the topic I wanted to talk to you about has nothing to do with that. I wanted to talk to you about the case that brung you to prison originally.
oh, bank robbery.
Yeah. Can you walk me through that day and what happened that day?
Yeah. Let's see. I believe it was February 3rd, 87 or 88, 1987, 88. I don't know if you were born yet.
Oh yeah, 79, man, 79, baby.
So little background. I was in state custody for a while, and I met a guy there named John Oliver, and him and his brother-in-law, David Grandstaff, they allegedly did the largest U.S. bank robbery in U.S. history. Where they actually went in with guns, and they got like $3.5 million. And their partner Bruce Fenimore, he got pulled over driving a brand new Corvette with 100,000 in the front seat. And as soon as he got pulled
stuff you're not supposed to be doing when you rob a bank, or
as soon as he gets pulled over, he starts cooperating.
Yeah.
And puts the finger on John and David. And they went to trial, and believe it or not, they were acquitted. What? So yeah, they were acquitted. But John was in state prison for a bank robbery in Davenport, Iowa. So we used to walk the track. It is in the joint. You just walk the track every day. And
my
so
best friend was a murderer, man. He stabbed someone like 60 times. I used to walk with him every day. Every day. Same thing. Yeah,
so he used to tell me how he used to rob banks when he was a youngster and all that. And, I was fascinated by it. I was 18 years old. So I get out, and I wasn't working. I was just being a bum. And one day, I don't know what happened. I just got a hair up my ass and decided to rob a bank. So I put in place the things that, he had talked to me about. And so I got a mask, which was a Spider-Man mask. It had two little holes in it. Otherwise, you couldn't see anything. So I had that up on my head, and then a blue stocking cap.
Did you tell anyone else about this?
What do you mean?
At the time, when you were doing it, did you tell anyone else you were going to do it? And,
oh, no.
And did you get a weapon to go do this?
No.
So no guns or nothing like that.
No.
You're trying to just go in there with what? No. What was your plan?
Well, no. I a note, you only get one drawer and you only get a couple grand. So it's a bad bank robber. No, I went and got a Spider-Man mask and a little hat, and then I had a trench coat on, and I had a pair of size 13 penny loafers that I wore, though my foot's only 8.5. So, it's trying to throw them off. But so I got my little dress on, my little, dress for the robbery. Yeah, the gloves, the whole bit. So I walk up to the bank, and right when I get to the door, I pull my mask down. And then I run inside and I jump the counter with pillowcases.
A lot of people in there? Is it? Yeah, what time of the day is it? What time of the day?
About 11:30, 12 o'clock. There's probably about 25 people in there. And so I jumped the counter, and it got real loud. So I said, everybody on the motherfucking ground, that kind of bullshit. And I handed the tellers each pillowcase and said, fill the fucking sacks. And they did. In probably 10 seconds, I grabbed the sacks, jumped back over the counter, and ran out of the bank. And there was snow on the ground, and there were snow banks. And I left the penny loafers in the side of a snow bank. And I ran down to the alley, jumped in a vehicle, and boom, took off. And then I went over a bridge and took the ski mask, or the Spider-Man, and threw it over the bridge into the water. And these cocksuckers found that.
They found the mask?
They found it, and then there was hair samples. They had made me get a court order and took my hair. But
so you leave, right? You leave. You got 2 bags of money.
3.
Right? I think we're lagging. People are saying we're lagging. But I think once we stop the stream, it'll catch up. I don't know. But so you got how many bags of money you got?
3
at the time. 3 bags of money.
Right.
Where do you go, and what's the first thing you do? Do you count the money up? Where do you go?
No, I went and ditched the vehicle that I had and got into another one and drove 300 miles to Chicago. And went. I had a friend of mine that was worked at the Allerton Hotel in Chicago. It was on Michigan Avenue, real nice place. So I had him, set it all up under, assumed name and all that. So I go to Chicago, go to the Allerton Hotel. I was there that night, and
are you nervous though? Are you nervous at the time? Are you like caught? Are you looking around? Are you paranoid the cops are gonna come get you?
No, I wasn't. I thought I got smooth away. I figured if they didn't get me in the first 10 minutes, and I was good. And back then they don't have all the sophisticated electronics like they do now, where they can get your picture out to every person in the country.
Yeah, it's insane. So you can't do nothing nowadays without being caught on camera. Like, always got to move like you're on camera, because anywhere you go, you're on camera.
Yeah, if I'd have done that today, I'd probably be on 25 different cameras.
Yeah,
all throughout
the running throughout the city. Yep. Yeah, that's what they do. They piece it all together.
Yeah. So, but that was the big bank robbery.
So, where do you go? You count up the money. How much do you get? How much did you get away with?
Close to 20 grand.
But that's quite a bit of money. You weren't working at the time.
Back in 1987, that was a lot of money.
What was the first thing you bought? What was the first big purchase you made, and what direction did you go? Were you still causing crimes, or were you kind of like laying low?
I was like on vacation, but I didn't buy anything. I just ate
cars, nothing.
I went and ate good. We got a restaurant there in the Allerton called the Escargot. It was a real nice restaurant. So I'd go down there every night, or I'd go there for lunch, and then I'd go somewhere else, another restaurant for dinner, and just a little routine I did for a couple weeks. And yeah.
How long until this got caught up with you?
Well, maybe 17, 18 days after the robbery. I could have it screwed up a little bit, but I'm not exactly sure how many days it was, but it was a few weeks. And then I did the dumbest move I ever did in my life. Well, maybe not, but I turned myself in.
What was the setup to you going to turn yourself in? What was that like? And like when you finally made the decision, I'm gonna turn myself in, were there people pleading with you to do it? Like what?
No, at the time, unfortunately, I was married, and I just had a 2-month-old baby. It was a son, and so that way, you're 18. That weighs a lot on you. So I had spoke with her and considered, so then I called my lawyer up, who I used to smoke weed with. So I'm sorry about that. And then I called him up, and he drove up and got me. He came and got me.
Did you pay him? You paid him a nice retainer, right?
Well, I had something I did before that. He owed me. So
Tracy says, was you jumpy and always looking over your shoulder and things like that?
No,
were you
not
paranoid? No, they were coming to get you? No?
No. Like I said, I was in Chicago. It's a long ways from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, like I said back then, you know, a detective from Cedar Rapids would have had to drive all the way up there to search for me, you know. So it's just, yeah.
Obviously, you told your kid's mother, right? You told her about it, and she kind of convinced you it's the right thing to do to turn yourself in.
Right. Yep.
So now, what was that day like, and what did you do? How did you turn yourself in? You just walk in the police station? Do you call?
No, I didn't do anything. The lawyer picked me up and drove me down to the courthouse and wanted to get me in to see a judge. So he timed it where I could get in to see a judge right away. So we went upstairs to the judge's chambers.
Is this in Iowa?
Yeah, in Cedar Rapids. Yep.
So you went back to Iowa to go do this.
Right. And so we went up there to the judge's chamber, and he contacted the sheriff's department, which is right next door to the courthouse. And they, I don't know, some of them came over and escorted me to the jail.
Did they ask you about the money? Where's the money? And what was your answer?
I told them I spent it. I said, I ain't got no money, so I'm broke. So they didn't like that.
The thing is, like, so when you get arrested for a bank robbery, right? What I heard is if you rob a bank, you get away, you spend the money, they're going to tack that on. Like, so they'll make you pay a restitution. And if you're in prison, and you know how people get commissary on their books?
Sure.
Every time you get money for commissary on your books, they'll take that money to pay the restitution for the bank robbery. A lot of times I've seen people in prison that they do that to them.
Right.
Did they try to make you pay restitution for it?
No, I did. I gave them the money back. Or, you know, I mean, like 6 months after I was in prison, I was able to pay, you know, I paid it off. So I didn't have any restitution.
And how long from when you got arrested until you pleaded out to the bank robbery did you spend in prison? And how long did they give you for the bank robbery?
I think it was maybe a month or 2 months before I pled guilty. And then I pled guilty. And so when you plead for the feds, you know, you got to do a debrief or whatever, proffer or whatever it is.
Where they you tell them all the crimes that you committed, right?
Right. Well, I just told them about the bank robbery. I mean, I didn't have any co-defendants or anything. So, you know, I mean, like, again, I'm 18. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I know, but I'm a tough guy, you know, so when they come, oh, fuck you, fucking coppers, you know, that was my attitude. So, but it was part of to accept the guilty plea. It's what I had to do. So I just told you, I told them, you know.
Did anyone in prison look at you fucked up because you did the proffer?
No. Listen, in the Northern District of Iowa, that's where we're at here. That's like half the state of Iowa. You cannot. It's part of their rules. You know, the local rules. I mean, it's just go on the internet and look up Northern District of Iowa local rules, and they'll print it all out and you can read it. They will not accept a guilty plea unless you proffer. Otherwise, they're taking you to trial.
About that crime. You have to proffer about that crime.
Yes.
Right?
Right. And anything that you say can't be used, you know, to prosecute you. However, if they discover the evidence from another source, then they'll nail you with it. So it's all
like
bullshit.
if you lie to them in the case and they find some new evidence, they can bring you back and then you get charged again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like but so I did the proffer, you know, and no one looked at me funny because there wasn't any reason to. I mean, I didn't have no co-defendants. It wasn't, you know, I mean, an open and shut case, you know.
Basically telling on yourself, right?
Yeah, right. So, and it was a 5-minute proffer. I mean, there's nothing to it, you know. Like I said, I ran in, jumped the counter, ran out, went to Chicago, got drunk and ate good, and you know, can't turn myself in.
17 days of living lavishly, right?
Yeah, it was nice.
Tracy says, as in the UK, you're looking at 15 to 20 years, depending on if you have used a weapon or not.
Right.
And another thing is, if you write down in the note that you're going to hurt somebody, or if you say that you have a weapon, if you imply
Right.
that you have, like, I have a gun, I will this and that.
Right.
They add more and more time for every little
Right.
infraction that you have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sentencing enhancements.
Yeah.
They give you 2 and 3 points, and you know, at the end of the day, those 2 or 3 points kill you. You know.
Yeah, it'll make your sentence go up to like
Right.
60 years or something, right?
Right.
Mandatory minimums.
So, unarmed bank robbery carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. That's an unarmed bank robbery. So, I went in. They go by how many felonies you have, you know, your criminal history, and then the category of the crime. So I think like unarmed bank robbery was like a 9, a level 9. And then you go over here to my felonies, which was, you know, I was only 18. So, you know, I had 1 or 2. So go down, they just put them together like this. And then that's what it is. And it came up to 105 months.
It's like a times table. Yeah. It's like a times table.
Yep. So I received 105 months, which was 8 years, 9 months, which for, you know, only my second felony as an adult, you know, it was a pretty harsh sentence, you know, where guys usually unarmed bank robberies or with the notes, they get 3-4 years.
Yeah, so, I know someone, I think he got 18 months with the note.
Yeah.
And he was in the drive-through, man. He gave him the note in the drive-through and they gave him the money.
They're trained. See, that was one of the things that John was telling me is, you know, they train the tellers. If someone comes in with a gun, give them whatever they want, give them all the money. Yeah. You know, it's insured, you know, and that's what they don't want one of their clients, you know, one of the people in the lobby to get injured so they can sue the bank, you know, all that kind of crap. So yeah, they're just trained to give you the money.
What's good, Mobland? DB, what's up? I don't give a fuck either. Haha. Tracy. So damn, man. Yeah, that had to weigh heavy on you. 8 years at 18 years old, 18, 19. That's got to be like, damn, my life's over, right?
Yeah. It was quite a shock, you know. It was a culture shock too. Like they took me from Cedar Rapids, Iowa to MCC Chicago. Oh, man. You know, the marshals drove you there and dropped
back
off.
then, tell the people though, what quality of people were in the feds back then? Because it has changed tremendously.
Yeah, it has. You know, back when I went to the feds, they didn't have, you know, like how the government now is, you know, attacking, you know, the foreigners that are coming over the border, you know, illegal aliens, and putting them in prison.
They would have them in state. They would have them in state lockup. I remember them being in
okay, so they were never in the
jail.
feds. So yeah, I mean, there was maybe a handful of Spanish guys in the feds, and there was no methamphetamine around. There was no crack cocaine around. So they didn't have, you know, those types of individuals, you know, in the system. Most of them were bank robbers, counterfeiters, or organized crime members.
You were in prison when the crack cocaine epidemic started, right?
Yeah, started and finished. I've never even seen it. You know, I don't know anyone that's ever used it. So, and same with like the methamphetamine, that started and ended before I got out.
Wow, that's crazy. So, but you've seen parts of it in prison. I'm sure you've seen people addicted in prison, right? Through your time.
A lot of heroin addicts.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm trying to share the link to somebody. They always ask me, yo, send me your show when you're on. I always miss it. So try to keep up on it, man. So damn, man. So it's a culture shock. You go from Iowa with cornfields and shit over to Chicago. Now, what was your first stepping foot into a federal penitentiary in Chicago? What was it like to walk in there, and what was your treatment like from the other inmates? How did they treat you, and did they test you?
It wasn't bad. I mean, when I walked in, it was, you know, a culture shock because they're, you know, the state facilities state off guards and stuff are a lot different than the feds. You know, they're the feds like in Chicago. You know, they act like they're better than everybody, and they talk shit, and so so I mean, it was like it was just like yes boss, no boss. Yeah. And then so it wasn't bad the initial first 6-7 hours, but then they took me upstairs in MCC's guys are tall building,
Yeah.
And so I forget what floor I was on, but I was up there. And so I go in, they open they come off the elevator, and you walk into a dorm, and it's nothing but massive rows of bunk beds and guys sitting on them, and noise and stunk in there, and just like, holy shit, what I get myself into.
And they're like, you just go in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I just went in there, and they showed me where my bunk was, and went over and emptied out the old bedroll, made the bed, and just kind of like sat around the bunk for a few minutes, and then a couple guys come over and what's your name, where are you from, all that bullshit, and so I met some Iowa guys there, and most everyone there was there just entering prison, waiting to get designated. So it wasn't really no hardcore guys there.
Yeah, I got a picture of the prison, what it looks like. I'm gonna bring you back there, man. My bad.
Oh, please. Yeah, there she is.
There's a little rec yard on the roof.
Yeah. So it was I didn't sleep well there.
How long did you spend there before they transferred you out?
I think maybe 3 weeks. To get designated.
Looks like they had an escape attempt there at one point.
Well, when I was there, they had just come out of lockdown because those buffers that they have are strippers that you have to go up and down, and a guy took a stripper. Yeah, he took a stripper and
have a job doing that shit
against the wall, right, to knock the bricks out, and then had sheets and climbed down to the street.
Here's one of the look.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah.
So here's a picture of the inside of one of the blocks.
Yeah, so see, that's the hole or something.
Do you get into any fights when you're in there? Any problems? Do they test you or anything?
No problems. Not MCC, no.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that, man. And thank you, Tracy, Mobland. No, that's Chicago. This is MCC Chicago. They look very similar, though. The Metropolitan Federal System and New York, they look
MCC?
Really similar. They have the same backyard on the top roof. Yeah, MCC Manhattan and MCC Chicago look exactly the same. Yeah. Are the cells like bedroom TV, DVD player, PS2? I doubt it, bro.
See, now that's the difference. Now the state and the feds, everyone, when I was in the state, they all wanted to go to the feds, and then everyone in the feds wants to go to the state. So in the state of Iowa, you're allowed to have a color TV in your cell, a foot locker, a fan, a coffee pot,
radio.
Radio, Walkman, all that stuff.
Hot pots, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, and hot pots.
You can get video games. You can get CDs. All kinds.
Yeah, so living the life of luxury there, right? And these guys are bitching every day about it. Then you go over to the feds, and when I entered the feds, they had great food. I mean, excellent food, right? Better than a restaurant. However, you didn't have a TV. You didn't have anything in your cell except a couple books to read. And they didn't have foot lockers or hot pots or none of that.
And was it 23-hour lockdown?
No. Nope. You 5:30 a.m. they'd crack the doors and leave them unlocked till 4 o'clock in the afternoon for count, and then unlock again about 5 at night until 10.
So when you first get there, do you have any problems? Are you adjusting like pretty easy, or is it rough at first?
When I first went to prison?
No, when you first get to the next prison from Chicago,
right, which was Wisconsin. No, because as soon as I got off the bus and opened up the door from R&D to the yard, and the guard's pointing, 2 blocks down the street, there's your living unit. Right? So you're walking all that distance and everyone's staring at you and,
Yeah, usually you have like an orange jumpsuit on. That's how they do it.
You got a bus suit on.
Yeah, they call it, or you're in like an orange jumpsuit or a yellow jumpsuit. You stand out like a sore thumb, and you're just walking with your bed and shit. Yeah, everybody's looking at you.
You got your bed.
Yeah, it's the
your
worst
bedroll and it's crazy. So walking there. I got like halfway to the living unit, and all of a sudden I hear Bobby. And that's when I met Danny Marino.
So shit. So you started linking up with people.
The very first day. I was Christy Tick's celly the first day I went to Wisconsin that night.
Oh shit.
So
and Christy Tick, if people out there don't know, you want to explain who Christy Tick is?
Chris Fenari. He was said to be the consigliere to the commission. And real powerful in the Lucchese family.
Staxx, my man, shout out from Dublin, Ireland. Thank you, man. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. So you were locked up with Mr. Vic Amuso. You can see the picture in back of me. Right here is Bobby, and right here is Vic. So can you explain to me that day you got this picture taken? What was that day like, and what was it like to get this picture taken? Can you walk me through that day?
Hell, I don't even remember what day that was.
Remember you guys took the group photo with Nicky Scarfo in Atlanta, right?
Right. Those were Nicky wanted photos. These were the first photos that he got taken since he got out of ADX.
Oh, so Nicky wanted the photos.
Right. So Nicky went in and we all took photos, and Nicky took a photo with with every single one of us, and then me and Vic took a picture. Me and Vic and Mike Tassetta. Bunch of we just took a bunch of different photos.
Yeah,
we did that a lot though.
When I dropped this one photo in back of me, people were freaking out, man, because they never seen it before, and they're like, "Who's that guy with all these people? Who's that with Nicky Scarfo and this guy and this guy and this guy?" And they were freaking out, man. I got so many calls about this picture. It was insane. About this one and the other picture.
Well, I got a few photo albums full of them.
Yeah, man. We gotta get some exclusive pictures, and we'll put them on members only. If you guys want to see some exclusive pictures with Vic Amuso, Nicky Scarfo, who else is in the pictures?
Oh, I got a bunch of pictures. Let's see. Guy, Matty Galamenti, out of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I think he's the alleged boss right now. And
I heard somebody took over for the commission. Here's a picture. I got a picture.
John Riggy.
Right here.
John Riggy, nice
John
guy.
Riggy.
He's a good guy out of Orange City or Orange County in Orange City in Jersey. That's the nicest guy I ever met in prison.
Here's Scarfo.
Yep.
How about this guy?
Oh, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
So you were with all the top commission guys too, Vic Amuso.
Yeah.
Who else was there from the 5 families?
Well, I had been with, I was with Fat Tony Salerno, Tony Ducks, Christy Tick, Vic. I think that's it for the commission.
A lot of people here. I got a picture of Fat Tony in prison. It's a pretty good picture too. So, I don't know if you can talk about it. It's up to you or not. about what you got going on in the future with all of this.
Oh, you mean
if you're able to talk about it.
The TV pilot?
Yeah, man. Here's Mr. Tony.
They're doing there he is. They're doing a pilot of a TV show about, I guess, my life story.
And it's a TV series.
Huh?
It's a TV series about you going to prison, the commission, and a bunch of different guys. Like it's insane. And it's what do you think the chances of this whole project coming to fruition are?
What do you mean coming to
fruition?
What do you mean? Well, they've already wrote the screenplay. It's all done.
Yeah, it's done. So so that'll be coming out really soon. Stacy, what's up? That's our Iowa friend right there. Shout out to Stacy. John Riggy was the boss in New Jersey.
Right.
What year did you meet John Riggy?
I believe it was 91, 92.
What about you had some dealings with people from the patriarchal crime family too, right?
That's Maddie.
Yeah. And then you had
Bobby. Your friend.
Man, listen, I got acquaintances, man. I don't other people's actions are not my problem, you know what I'm saying? That's basically how I feel about it. But damn, you gotta have some kind of integrity with your actions, you know?
Yeah. But yeah,
I stand on the shit I say and do, man, and I don't care.
I was with Sammy the Bull too.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about your time with the Weasel himself, Mr. Sammy the Bull.
You know, he just had a birthday. He turned 78 years old.
That was today or yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah, yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah. 78 years old.
He is, you know, and I'm being honest about it. It's not. I mean, I've met a lot of mobsters, a lot. You know, I mean, hundreds and hundreds, and you know, most of them, I'd say 99% of them are gentlemen. You know, are very respectful. You know, I mean, everything that I envisioned of a guy in the mafia. You know, when I was a kid watching movies or reading books in State Joint, and you know, I'd never envisioned that they would be, you know, so polite and you know, so that kind of shocked me a little bit. But Sammy the Bull is a jerk off. I mean, legitimate jerk off. I mean, he's I don't know. Man.
Like, what do you think about the statement he made recently? Right on the front of his the title of his show is "Nobody would test me in prison because they knew I'd cut their effing throat."
Yeah. He was quiet as a mouse in the joint. All that toughness. Listen, you ain't tough. Nobody's tough in the feds, you know, because they'll
even in state prison, all that tough guy shit you talk on the internet, man. Once you go in that cell block and they close that door and there's 90 inmates and you got to deal with that shit on your own. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
Yeah,
I found the picture. Here we go. We got you want to name all the people in this photo?
Well, there's Nicky Scarfo's on the right, kneeling down, and behind him is Faffy Ainella from Philly, and then Mike Tassetta, who was an underboss in Philly. I mean, in New Jersey, and then behind him is Patty Amato, who was with the other guy next to Mike is Vic Arena. So, and then behind Vic Arena is Bobby Gallagher. So Bobby Gallagher, Patty, and Vic, they're all three co-defendants. And then
Colombo family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then Vic and I.
Yeah, man. I got some more pictures.
Oh yeah, that's Frank was an asshole, but he was a good guy though. he would ask me, "What the fuck are you looking at?" You know, and he was not a
he was like an honorary old man.
but I did law work, so I'd sit in the law library and you know, so you know, I was his buddy, you know, because I did law work, and he'd ask me 1,000 questions.
Yeah, so he's sitting there on the typewriter and shit, and he's wanting information from you, right? So
he's
kissing your ass, kind of.
I mean, he asked me so many questions, it just knocked my head silly.
Were you locked up ever with Carmine Persico or any of them people?
Yes. Here's Carmine, I was locked up with Joey Testa.
Here's Carmine.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was locked up with him, he was in a wheelchair. But Carmine was a good dude too. Carmine was cool.
I mean, so when you see these guys in prison, are they talking about mafia type of things, or is it totally just about regular life going on?
It's about regular life. You know, it's like every day. I mean, no, they definitely did not. I mean, I get on the YouTube or whatever, Instagram, and see these shows, and you know, these guys get on there and say this guy said this and that. They don't talk like that. I mean, they don't, and people can believe that they do, but they really don't. You know, I mean, everyone wants me to say, I know he talked about this, and listen, he ain't talked about nothing. Nobody talked about nothing. You know, they just don't do that. And if they do, like, if, you know, they'll come off a visit and they'll pull someone to the side and whisper in their ear, and that's about it. You know,
like when in 1985, when Paul Castellano got murdered. Did you hear rumblings about that in the prison? Like, yo, the boss got killed.
No, I was in state in 85.
Oh, so you weren't even in this situation by then.
No.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the guys didn't really care for John Gotti. Just because of the way that he, you know how it is. Everyone wants to blame somebody for something, you know, and you know, for their own, you know, faults. So everyone blamed John was the reason that they're in prison, you know, because he was.
Sammy blames John for everything. John's the reason why he cooperated against 70 people. Yeah. He's the reason why this and that, sold drugs with his family. Yeah, I don't believe none of the bullshit he's spewing. He's a liar, and I will never stop going after Schmiegel, man.
Yeah,
never.
You know, what I don't understand is how, if you know, an individual can fabricate stuff, you know, on these channels, and then, you know, act like it's, you know, it's the truth. I mean, there's some things that he says that I actually believe he thinks is true.
Yeah, you know, like I believe that he believes that he painted this picture right here. I believe he believes it.
Yeah, well, he didn't paint any of those pictures,
but he's selling them with
those
his
name.
Those
are charcoals, and I'm telling you, Sammy can't draw a straight line. You know, he just can't draw a straight line. That's a fact. I mean,
you made a challenge to Sammy recently?
I did. He don't want a part of it. 25,000, and we paint or we do that Al Capone right there with charcoal.
Yeah, sit side by side. Sammy could have but the video's got to be on the charcoal painting while you do it.
He can even copy what I'm doing. He can follow along what I'm doing.
When you look away, he'd probably take yours anyway and put his. It's the type of guy he is, man.
Yeah, you know, like with the, for instance, the painting situation. You know, Sammy didn't paint anything. You know, he didn't draw anything, didn't paint anything. Full of shit. But there are guys that are still incarcerated doing, you know, life sentences.
Yeah.
Good guys that actually did do a lot of that work. You know, and he ain't giving them a nickel. He's out there selling their work, you know, and making prints on them. And he sold thousands and thousands of them, you know, and you know, made a lot of cash off of them.
Yeah, that's not.
He wouldn't even break them off. You know, I mean, now that's a cocksucker right there. That's a real piece of shit. You know, I mean, I'd be feeding them guys cash. Hey, make me some more, you know, and you know how it is in the joint. Shit, they get a big old money order in the mail. They're gonna do 3 or 4 charcoals and get them out to Sammy right away. But you know, he doesn't think like that.
Yeah, he's
and then like
he's a piece of
another
work,
one
man.
that was a good one. Does his listeners understand that he was in a protective custody unit? You know, after he cooperated, and so he's talking about he got an AB tattoo and got it approved to walk the yard, and you know, if he had any problems to flash the tattoo. Come on, man, that's old crock of shit. Listen, the second that any AB member seen him on any yard, they'd chop his fucking head off.
Yeah, because they don't associate with people like him at all. Like he's a marked man, even on the street with them, right?
Listen, the guy that did his tattoos was a former AB member. If they knew that he did those tattoos, they'd kill him. You know, so yeah, I mean, because a lot of that work that he had, that he says is every tattoo here has a meaning, you know.
Odin and the woman and all this stuff.
And he's got Odom and Odism. He got all these different, you know, they're you know, AB tattoos. You know, it's what the AB like, you know, the
property
warrior ladies and all that stuff, and yeah, it's just hilarious, you know.
I think he has
those. Call him out on this, right? And he doesn't. He says, "I don't respond to any of that. They just want to get likes." You know, and I don't want no fucking likes. I don't care about no likes. What the hell's like to me? You know. And so I just tell him it like it is. And I mean, he just, you know, he's not man enough to say, you know what, you know, I did some things I shouldn't have done, and said some things that were wrong, and I want to clarify it. And you know, that's what a man would do.
Yo, there's a lot of not men out there, man, in the world. I mean, you come across them every day. Like, there's a lot of cowardly people out in the internet, and you know, they not even just the internet, just basically in life in general. You come across them every day. Yeah. And you just gotta navigate the scumbags, man.
Yeah. They gravitate towards these podcasts and get on there and talk like they're tough guys, you know.
Any AB member in good standings he was hanging out with dropouts.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's 100% fact.
Yeah, so he's in protective custody. He's with pedophiles and rapists
just cooperating witnesses.
So it's some real dirtbag types in there, though, right?
Sure. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Because they can't go anywhere else.
Well, those they just keep in protective custody in Atlanta or Leavenworth, or you know, one of them holes. They just bury him in there in the back. Yeah. Yeah. If you check in the feds, I mean, you don't go to a protective custody unit. There's only, I think, 5 or 6 in the whole country.
So, do you think that Sammy was walking around like, I'm the motherfucking underboss? You think they tested the underboss in prison? You're not the underboss, any Sammy.
Yeah. He's quiet as a mouse. He didn't have nothing to say.
I'm gonna play a clip of it for you, and you can hear it with your own ears. It's funny, man. Did they test Sammy in jail? And now Sammy's hanging out with the other rat. What's his name? Dominic Sicali. He's like, Sammy has like rat parties. Like, you know, they all just hang out together and, I don't know, rub lotion on each other's backs. I don't fucking know what the fuck they do. Weirdo shit. Hold on. I know I can find this one.
Yeah, I know when Mikey Scars had something to say about Sammy.
Yeah.
Put Sammy out. He put him out on blast, and Sammy quiet, didn't say nothing.
Yeah, no response to
Well, he responded in a little bit. You know, one thing he responded to, you know, out of 100. And yeah, he just.
All right, ready? Let's see what he says.
Joey Francolino, they made him leave. He wasn't supposed to get hit. I just got hit. They told him go, and he left. So I went back to Joey Francolino. I said, listen, I don't know what the fuck is going on with it, but your brother-in-law's okay. And then I did find out more. It's a long story, and it's a story that I'm going to talk about in length. I might even save that for story in the...
All right, right here. Listen to this one. This is funny, bro. You're going to laugh so hard,
He
man.
always says that he's going to talk about it later in length.
People knew, I'm not a really big physical guy. I could fight, or I was able to, but they do know that I would cut their throat if I had a problem. So I don't think too many people with me.
And Sammy was a closet fucking rat in the immunity. Listen,
let's talk about that real quick. So you said Sammy was a closet rat.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, and then he wants to be Mr. Cool, on the compound, but when it can benefit him, he's going to run to the counselor and say, whisper in the counselor's ear, this guy, blah, 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 and get the guy popped off on something stupid like taking eggs out of the kitchen or just some dumb shit. But
because Sammy wants him out of the way,
right? Yeah, I peeped the game from. You can read him. Anyone with any common sense can read him like a book. He had his followers. He had, guys that, and he would abuse them, abuse the shit out of them. But
would he be walking around all cocky and like his?
No.
No.
It's 'cause someone slap shit out of him.
Have you ever seen anyone approach him hostile, like with an aggressive?
Yeah, when he tried to mess with the TV.
And
there was a TV incident. Guy told him, shut up and sit down. He did. Then he went back to his cell and talked about how tough he was.
Let's hear the rest of this one. This is funny, man. I think it's hilarious. Hey, Sammy, you're welcome to come on here and defend yourself anytime, man.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Corrupted in your super chat. Love you, Sammy. Were you ever tested in prison? Why or how did they let you reduce your classification levels in prison from Supermax down to level 4, 3, and so on? And how did prison go for you once you went back in for the ecstasy case?
When I went in for the ecstasy case, I went in with baggage. Baggage meaning I cooperated. They call you a rat. It's a tough way to do time. I had some incidents with some people here and there, but I got along pretty well. People knew, I'm not a really big physical guy. I could fight, or I was able to, but they do know that I would cut their throat if I had a problem. So I don't think too many people with me. I'm courteous. I won't walk around thinking my shit don't stink. That goes a long way.
Yeah, he does.
As far as my levels never went down. I went in and I went into regular state prison at that time, and then I was shipped to the ADX Supermax. So if anything, my level went up, and I was in the hole the first 6.5 years.
All right, hold on. Sammy just said I was in the hole 6.5 years. Supermax. What happened to he was at the doors yelling to the other inmates in the Supermax?
Yeah, so he's so full of shit. So this is the deal behind that. What Sammy's talking about is Sammy's a high-profile cooperating witness. So they can't house him in the hole in Leavenworth or the hole in Lewisburg or anything like that, because them dudes would try to get at him.
The workers can do it. They
Right.
could just have the workers be like, yo,
Right.
pop his cell. We're going to handle
And
this
so
and get a big name.
The
for
only
themselves.
place that they could secure, just like Gaspipe, it was ADX, so they went into ADX for protective custody. Not because he was a tough guy, but because they feared that someone would harm him. And, he's a high profile prisoner. And so, how the Bureau of Prisons doesn't want the bad publicity if something did happen to him. So to keep him protected, they kept him in ADX. And Sammy fought, right, for 6 years to get out of there, to get back into a unit, because U.S. Marshals refused to put him back in a unit because he dropped when he got out the first time, he dropped the witness protection program. So he fought for, it took him 6.5 years to get back into a unit.
Oh, so because after he dropped out of the witness protection program, he's trying to fight to get back in it?
Right, yeah.
In prison, though.
Right, yep.
Because I don't think a lot of people don't know about this, that there's a witness protection program in prison for people who are being like targeted by other people on cases and things like that. And you still have to do your time. You're going to be in this unit, right?
Right, yep. Yeah, and they're usually attached to a prison. You know, so they'll have a big prison. There's not one in Atlanta, but just take, for example, Atlanta. So you have, you know, all the buildings there. Then right outside, connected to the wall, would be a little miniature wall with a little one unit in that, behind that miniature wall, and that would be a protective custody unit.
And they wouldn't let no other people in there. It's like
no, nobody.
There's
no way to. Yeah, they wouldn't let anybody in there, and so, and they don't even know who's in there. They don't use their real names. It's only initials.
Yeah, they change your name when you go in there, right?
Well, no, you just use your initials.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like Sammy would be SG, you know, and but everyone knows everybody. So I mean, I doubt that, you know, in them units that they were calling people by their initials, but that's the proper protocol. Well, you know, that's what the marshals want.
Everybody knew who he was, though. I'm sure.
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah, and you know, everybody knew that he. You know, they just shake their head. He start talking, they just shake their head because he was so full of shit. But he's a character.
What about, were you in prison at the time when Gotti got assaulted?
Yes.
And what were the rumblings in prison? And
well, that's, you know, that's a lot of people talking a lot of shit that didn't know what they were talking about. John Gotti was loved in Marion.
He still is. A lot of people still love him, man.
Yeah, and I was with the AB guy that allegedly was extorting them, and and that was all bullshit. You know, now I don't know John Gotti, but I know his character. I mean, I know the type of person he is because of everyone I've been around. And I know for a fact that if someone tried some bullshit like that with like a guy like Vic Amuso would fucking try to chop their head off, you know, or get killed, but he ain't giving them shit.
Yeah, you ain't.
Know?
No, it's like either
give you the shirt off his back if you needed it, but
you ain't taking it.
Or take something from him. Yeah, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So and nobody, you know, 99% of the guys that were in Marion would not allow something, you know, stupid to happen to Gotti. So that was just a big bunch of bullshit. You know, I mean, I've done it. Vic's done it. You know, everyone's done it. You know, you got a couple guys that you hang out with, you talk shit with. You know, they ain't got no sweatpants, they ain't got no tennis shoes and shit. So you know, you send them $500 or $1,000, and you know, tell them get their shit right. You know, and you know, you do that out of the kindness of your heart. You know, you don't do it because you fear that they're going to beat you up or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it happens every day, and I believe that's exactly how it went down. Was that John was trying to help dude. You know, a lot of them dudes ain't got nothing, you know, and locked down. So he was just trying to, you know, do the right thing and help some guys out that he liked. So, and then there was some petty jealousy. People would get jealous about it, and you know, it's all just like a bunch of women, you know, a bunch of bullshit. But
it is. Yeah. Prison is the worst, man. The internet reminds me of prison, man. If you look at it in that aspect about like the goofies and the fucking losers and the fucking people who are just, they remind me of people that are in their cell when you're walking by and they're just running their mouth and they don't mean shit. Like they're just there, and they will, you know, they're just like cell gangsters, man. That's what the trolls are, and
cell warriors.
Goes with the territory, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah. See, I mean, I never got involved with any of that kind of shit. You know, I was more like on the down. I was real, you know, low key.
Yeah, but you have your situations in prison. right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, you know.
Like, I mean, life-threatening type shit too, where it's either you or me, and it
yeah, and it
doesn't
sure the
matter.
fuck wasn't me.
Damn right, man. When I was in Florida, I was in a situation like that, and I'm here talking, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, you know, I mean, unfortunately, there are times when, you know, I mean, perfect example was Nicky Gio, Chicago guy, you know.
Yeah, the outfit.
This guy, you know, legitimate tough guy. He's a tough son of a bitch, you know, about 6'3", you know, 240 pounds, all ripped up, you know. And he could handle himself, you know. I mean, he could throw them fists. But I'm walking into the chow hall and I sit down. I say hello to everybody in the morning, right? And I sit down, I eat, and I leave. A couple hours later, I'm walking down the hallway and I see him. I say, "Hey, Nicky, how you doing?" And he just stares at me and keeps walking. I didn't think nothing of it, you know, because he's a weirdo anyway. So a couple hours later, I see him again. Hey, Nick, and he's just staring at me. So I roll up on one of his partners. I say, "Hey, what's up with Nicky, or with Nicky Gio? What's his beef, man? He ain't talking." And he said, "I didn't say hello to him that morning for breakfast."
Yeah, it's like it's like some little girl shit, right? He didn't say hi to me.
You know, we had like 6 or 7 tables all set up in the corner that we'd sit every day. You know, listen, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, I only got one eye. Hell, and that was only half awake. You know.
Yeah, you're like still half asleep. I remember going through the breakfast lines, man. You go through.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Like, you know, you sit down. You know, it's like you're the mayor or something. You got to say hello to everybody. So that was one of the things I didn't really care for. Was, you know, you go into chow hall and there's 20 guys there. Hey, you got to say hi to every one of them, and you know, and then they saying hi. I mean, it's just you know, by the time they're done, it's time to go back to your cell block. but so that morning I didn't see Nicky. Didn't see him at all, you know. And if I did, I would have said, "Hey, Nick, how you doing?" But so I said, that's what I tell his partner. So that's what he's mad about, because I didn't say hello to him. I said, I'm gonna go talk to him on the next movement. I go down to his cell block when they had open movement. I ran down there and I get stuck in his room for an hour till the next movement, right?
Yeah.
And so for an hour, he told me about how tough and badass he was. She got all these mafia books in the cell. You know, he goes, "I'm with the outfit. You know, you got to respect me," and all this. You know, and he's like spitting out the mouth and just.
How long have you been in prison at this point? When you're at this point,
12, no, maybe 15 years.
How long into your prison sentence did you catch the life sentence? We didn't even get to that part yet.
Oh yeah, no, I got the life like 10 years after I was in, or something. 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, 8 years, because it was I only had 9.5 or 8.5 years, because I was 4 months away from going home.
He said, "I don't know this dude, but I like him. No ego." You're damn right, man. He said they're saying that I'm real choppy when they see the video. You're breaking up bad, Staxx. Damn, man. My apologies for the quality. I'm in a new studio, and I got new cameras I'm hooking up, so I'm like in the middle of the Wi-Fi and all that bullshit connections. So I'm dealing with all that, but things will get better. Trust me. We got the new studio, we got the cameras. We're almost ready to hit the road and start filming the documentaries. So
you need to get one of them. You need to get one of them helmets with the little camera on it. You can run around the streets with that on. That'd look pretty cool. Painted orange or something.
Yeah, right.
Hey, so this Nicky Gio.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting worried because he's talking all this crazy shit, you know. And I've seen him fight, you know. I mean, I've seen him knock guys out. So I'm thinking, this fucking idiot is he's fucking insane, you know. So I'm to think, you know, man, if I fuck up again, I can't say hello to him tomorrow morning, you know. What is he gonna do? Fucking hit me with a bat or something? You know, that's how I'm thinking. Because he's just talking, he's talking himself into a problem. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, like, so when you walk in there, you're like, make sure you say hi to him, just to
right. So when they said, you know, 10-minute movement, right? You know, opened up all them cells, open, blah, blah, blah. I said, "Hey, Nicky, again, I apologize." Shook his hand. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You just remember that, you know." And yeah, no problem, boss. So I'm walking out, and I'm go down to the bottom to go out of the A block, and I ran into Bobby Manna, and I said, he said, "What are you doing?" I just says, oh, "Man, I just come out your partner, Nicky Gio's cell." He goes, "Man, you got to spend an hour in his cell." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh man, that's poor you." I said, "Yeah, no, poor him." He goes, "You know, when you talk to them guys like that, they get, you know, immediately, oh yeah, what's going on? What's up?" You know. So I said nothing. So anyway, I felt that maybe that I was in some type of, you know, danger with his craziness, you know, and so I had him kindly removed from the yard.
This is Mr. Manna.
Yeah.
So this is the guy you bumped into down at the when you were leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Connection is good here. Must be on their end. Thank you, Troy. Yeah. Man,
yeah. So what was funny, because when Nicky Gio got hit, the next day I'm in the chow hall at lunch, right now, and I'm sitting with Bob. I'm sitting with, you know, Chicago guys and Kansas City guys, and so we're sitting eating, you know, and I don't say nothing. No, I'm not talking to nobody about nothing. We don't talk about it. We don't care about that shit. So all of a sudden, here comes all these guys that were hanging out with Nicky Gio, thought he was the shit, you know, coming, you know, can I speak to you for a minute, and wanting to sit down at the table and say, you know, hey, listen, I didn't have nothing to do with Nicky's problems and all, you know what I mean? Like, man,
because they didn't want a problem either.
Yeah. I'm like, man, get the fuck away from me, you guys, man. It's stupid. But seriously, I mean, I'm not that guy that goes and picks on people or bothers them. I'm not trying to bother nobody. But goddamn, when you got a guy that you know is a crazy fuck, you know, talking about doing crazy shit, then what are you gonna do? You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was one of the problems I had was that.
Yeah.
You know, and that turned into a huge problem because then the Chicago guys, you know, Harry, I forget Harry's name. He was Harry the
Riccabini.
No, this guy's from Chicago, not Philly.
Yeah, Harry. I know
Harry
him
Ullman.
too. Yeah, Harry Ullman.
Right. So he comes, you know, hey, Nicky was my friend, and I'm hearing rumors, and right. And I said, well, you know, Nicky was my friend too, and I heard rumors too. So, you know, yeah. So I had to get with Vic and had to have Vic squash it with them guys. You know, it's just crazy.
Vic is one of the most powerful people that is in the prison system in the feds.
Yeah, I think
now
so.
to this day, I believe he is.
Yeah.
Man.
I got a lot of you know, I met a lot of people because of him. I mean, I'd say 90% of the people I've met in my life was because of Vic. You know, just hanging out and talking shit, and you know.
In prison, man, you end up getting close with people.
Right. Yeah, and you know, I mean, Vic's a gentleman. You know, he's you know, I like to think that I'm a pretty, you know, upfront and you know, honest guy. You know, just tell it like it is, and I think I learned that from Vic and just the other guys around him. You know, and you know.
Hey, Bobby, you married? You have kids?
No, I'm not married. And yeah, I have some kids somewhere. I'm just kidding. I got
I got kids in every state I go to. Don't worry, I'll be in your state next where you're at. So yeah, man, we're gonna end it here, and we'll do another part, and we'll explain more into your prison sentence about why you caught a life sentence and how the hell you got out of that one.
I had the largest heroin seizure in U.S. history. Oh. Yeah, terrible. And I was incarcerated. I didn't do it. I'm a victim.
You're a victim, man. I was just passing time, man.
Hey, yeah, that's probably what it was too. Passing time.
Man, that series is gonna be incredible. I looked over the script and it's incredible.
You got a script? How come I don't get a script?
Well, I have the what would they call it? The storyboard, or from what they have. They got
everything. I got nothing. They just want to call me up, ask me questions, and hang up on
it. and hey, I might be there to help you guys out, man. I'm gonna come out to Iowa soon. I got a couple other states I gotta hit within the next month. I got major shit going on. But within the month, I'm gonna come out to Iowa and we're gonna get some stuff done. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, what are we gonna get done?
What we talked about earlier, what we're gonna put together for you, man.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I thought maybe cut trees or something.
Yeah, I could do that while I'm there too.
All right.
Hey man, you know, I'm always down to get my hands dirty. I am coming to Cedar Rapids, my friend. I will be out there. I'll be that's where you are, right? Around Cedar Rapids, right? Yeah.
I might get a billboard. I might just rent a billboard. Just let them know that Staxx is coming.
Yeah, definitely, man. If you guys don't know, today is my father's birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, 1958. He died in 2008. He drowned on the Mississippi River. And I just want to say, happy birthday, Dad. And major things going down. I'll be out by the Mississippi River pretty soon to visit. But anyway, if you guys like this show, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. I'll come see you, Everett, when I come out there, man. I'll meet up. We'll have dinner or something, bro.
Have him give Sammy some likes.
Nah, man. Sammy don't deserve no likes. People should be hitting up those inmates that are in prison and paying them for their artwork instead of Sammy. He don't deserve that shit.
Nah, he don't deserve shit.
No.
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to anyone before we go?
No, I don't have anybody to shout out to.
Yo, shout out to all the people who are incarcerated all across the U.S. because a lot of those people in those pictures, they're still in prison.
Yeah.
Or they're dead.
Yeah, all of them are except Mike Tassetta. And Mike might have got put back in. I'm not sure.
I think there's two. I think two of them are still alive in that one picture.
Which one?
Isn't Vic Arena still alive?
I think let's see, Bobby Gallagher's alive, Faffy's alive, Vic's alive, Mike Cassetta's alive.
Quite a bit of them are alive. Yeah. Nicky Scarfo's dead.
Right.
And
I think Nicky and Vic Arena.
I thought Vic Arena. When did he die? I'll tell you right now. Boom. He's 88 years old. He didn't die, man.
Oh, he's still alive? Wow.
Yeah, he's 88 years old. He's in prison. I'm gonna drop him a letter and see if he writes back. And I'll mention you. I wrote a bunch of high-profile people, and I'm waiting on some letters. So I'm gonna bring you some raw content, man.
Hey, remind me to tell you how you can get them to write you back. I'll give you a little inside tip.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been great, man. You know, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yeah. I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Definitely.
All right.
And you guys, go watch my other videos. There's probably like 1,300. So I've been pretty damn busy. And I got a lot more to bring you. So hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And remember, don't be a bitch. Peace. Thanks, man.
All right, pal.